Hello and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 199. I'm Clint, aka JCM. With us this week is Isli.
Sounded like you forgot your name for a second.
Nope, but Isli's
Yo,
here.
yo.
And Messiah.
Hello.
And here we are. We don't have too much to go over. We do have some new game announcements. So, Dreamhaven, this is a couple years back. Mike Morheim and Amy Morheim, they founded Dreamhaven. Mike Morheim, formerly of Blizzard. They showcased this game called Wildgate. They call it couch co-op game, but obviously you can play it online as well. But Wildgate, essentially, it's a crew-based first-person shooter. Think like Sea of Thieves in space, kind of like Marauders, which is a game that I look back, I'm like, man, I wish I played that game back when it was in its prime. And essentially, like you all spawn in on your ships, kind of like the Void Crew. You have to take care of your ship, but you fly in. You're trying to. It's like these quick 20-minute matches or whatever, and you're trying to. All the teams are trying to get like the central artifact, this one objective, and then steal it, and then get the hell out of there. But you can also board each other's ships and damage each other's ships and yada yada yada. Kind of it's like these other Jump Ship, which is the other game that got announced, which is very much like Void Crew, but it's not, there's no PvP. But it's so weird how many of these space games there are all of a sudden, where you're a crew of a ship and you're going to do missions together. Granted, this is more PvP focused, but I'm curious how it'll do because it does kind of have like none of the characters are humanoid. They're all like animal characters. Kind of like, and I think it might be a butterfly character as well. And I'm like, for the people that didn't like the character designs for Concord, will they care about that for this? Like it also seems very niche because it's not, a standard first person shooter. I mean, it looks like it could be really fun, but it's interesting that there's so many of these type of games suddenly coming out.
Space is the new ocean.
Yeah, like that's true. Like, hey, like Sea of Thieves, even though like it underwhelmed at launch, like it's still going strong with its community. It's not
People
like
still love Sea of Thieves.
yeah,
Hmm.
like it's not like it's bad. Like it's got a good player base. So Xbox is, I mean, they just had like Destiny DLC crossover DLC announced for with it, like I just like cosmetic stuff, that kind of thing. So it's like okay, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this does. Again, it's right around the corner. It didn't even say like early access. Like it just says it comes out in April. So it's like all right. Oh, okay, there we go. It is early access. And then 1.0 will be in May. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's a different game. Linked banner of the Spark. Yeah, this whole articles that I'm
This
reading from is
article's a
just so
mess.
this article's yeah, it's so ridiculous because it's like it's not only the one game, it's also like, oh, and here's information about a bunch of other stuff that they're helping work on. So it's so annoying. I hate when they have articles like that. Like just stick to the topic at hand. Like it's best when they like say something, go as we talked previously, and then they like have it hyperlinked so you can go back to the old article where it talks about this is when Dreamhaven Studios formed, and you can go back if you want to know the history if you missed it or something. Like just talk about the game. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Interesting stuff. And then Game Informer's back. Apparently, Gunzilla Games picked them up. This is Neil Blomkamp's video game studio. They have that one battle royale game. I don't know how well it's doing right now. It's in early access, off the grid. Maybe it did fine when like they first previewed it. I know like a lot of streamers are playing it, but because it's still in early access, it probably not too many people are discussing it. But yeah, I think it's out. Like you can play it in EA on PlayStation and PC and all that. But yeah, they picked it up and they brought back everybody essentially who was at Game Informer when it got dissolved.
I was surprised that the general reaction to this, instead of like massive excitement, was a lot of people being like, yeah, I knew this was in the works. And I'm like, what
Hmm.
piece of news did I miss out on that so many internet people were like, yeah, obviously this was coming back. Obviously this was in the works. Like, has this just been common knowledge that he was trying to do this and I just missed that tidbit?
No, like they kept it down.
No,
I
it's
think
just
it's
a
just
bunch of
because
internet dweebs trying to be in the know.
I think too it's also like when Xbox laid off a bunch of their studios and then Crafton came in and got and helped bring them back. It's like okay, that makes sense because like it's pretty good IPs. It's like someone else will swoop in because it wasn't like they were floating the idea of the closure to other studios like for a buyout. They just straight up cut them off. So it was so sudden and other people saw an opportunity. It's like get this. Game Informer is like such a staple. Like it makes sense that someone like it's not surprising that someone would do this. I'm more surprised that it took as long as it did, but I guess maybe that was more of a discussion on, okay, Gunzilla, like they don't have a publishing arm. So it's not like they have, it's not like another company coming in, a bigger company or something like who's done this before, who knows what to do, and be like, okay, we have the infrastructure. Like they got to work out how they're going to print this stuff and all that jazz. So they got to talk it out, figure out, okay, this is what we want to do, hash out all the terms, this and that, and who's going to run it. That's why they got, everybody back. But it makes sense. Like Game Informer's been around for so long that someone should swoop in and get them. I'm more surprised that it was Gunzilla. Like that seemed like totally out of left field. Like really, like you just started. It's not like your game is, the next Fortnite right now in popularity. So are you going to be able to keep it going? Like I'm assuming they must have done something in the acquisition to be like, hey, if we can't support it, at least you can go independent and try to keep yourself self-sufficient. You know what I mean? Versus just like, all right, you're dissolved again. Like, I feel like those must be some conversations.
I looked up like what his studio has done and was kind of like, this must be like money from his movie side of business that is funding all of this, because the games they've done themselves are all kind of small, never heard of type games. So for them to now kind of run Game Informer, I was like, wow, I didn't expect it to be this studio or these people. I figured it would be like IGN trying to acquire them, or like some other big kind of company that just wants to acquire them and kind of eliminate them. I'm very surprised they came back, and I'm also very surprised at who bought them.
Yeah, I don't think Ziff Davis would have done it because it would be direct. I mean, they're like essentially direct competition, but
direct competition. But that's what I mean. Of like, you buy them for IGN or something, and then you wrap them into your thing, so that instead of it being direct competition, it's now like Game Informer is you would obviously rebrand them, or you would rebrand IGN's delivery in like magazine form or something to Game Informer. You'd do something like that. But I figured they would be bought out to be like killed off more. Not I just didn't think it would happen the way it did. I'm surprised.
yeah, they do. Matt Miller does say that they have full independence. Like every decision for Green Game Informer will be made by Game Informer, not anybody else at Gunzilla. Obviously, that will be KPI conversations, all that jazz. But like the decisions will be made by Game Informer. So that's nice that they have that kind of level of independence. Kind of like Bungie did until things started not doing so well. I'm like, okay, we might have to step in here.
Kind of like Bungie did until they didn't, and then they did again, and then they didn't again.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, they can always like team up for hey, like Neil Blomkamp does a lot of like short stuff. At least he did. Like Oat Studios used to do a bunch of shorts back in the day. Like they could always like tie that in for advertising. It's like, hey, we got an advertising arm now for our stuff. We can just put it in there. You don't have to pay for advertising, especially if you have like you can do previews for your 1.0 launch of your games and whatnot. But we'll see. Obviously, it's going to take time to get the print stuff up and running, and they got to determine if they're going to do monthly or bi-monthly or every quarter, like how they want to run it. I feel like,
I mean, I didn't notice if they confirmed this or not, but have they confirmed if they're actually going to do physical print stuff, or if it's just going to be online only?
They still want to. Right now, it'll be online, but they have to get everything back up and running. So Matt Miller was on the MinMax show talking about everything. So if anybody's interested, you should go listen to Matt Miller talk about it. But yeah, essentially, like they want to get back into. They want to keep publishing physical magazines, but it just comes down to a question of, do we want to do it monthly, or what cadence do they want to do it in? So that's kind of still in the works. I feel like I stopped caring about getting print copies of stuff kind of when PSM went away, but that was like way back in the day. And then I didn't really buy, like, it used to be really fun when I was younger, but I kind of just read stuff on my phone now. And I know they do like digital versions of their stuff, and I'll read like their big cover pieces on their website, but I never really want like the physical media myself. But if it was like once a quarter, maybe. Like
I mean, I don't ever really read. I like physical media for like books and things, but I'll be honest, I have hated how addicted in the past like year or two I've become to my phone and everything being digital. And couple that with, Steam and PSN and various other companies eliminating like digital games that you've purchased without telling you, and Sony kind of talking about how they can pull it off of consoles. More and more, I'm like, man, maybe it would be fun to get like a game magazine again and read about shit through a game magazine. I could actually see myself enjoying getting a physical magazine, like a subscription based one.
yeah, maybe. I mean, like it I guess it depends. I wouldn't want one every month, and I probably wouldn't subscribe. I would only buy if it was like, "Yo, it's we've got the cover story for Tlu 3," something like crazy like that, and it's like, and we got they got their custom cover art, this and that, and everything, and it's like, okay, that could be kind of fun because I mean, I used to love reading those as a kid, but once news articles became online, it's just so much easier, and then just read it on my phone while I'm at work. I'm always browsing news sites and whatnot, but
I
who
used to
knows?
buy specific issues of Game Informer. Like I have a few that are like they do like the special covers
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like I think I have the God of War one, I have the Final Fantasy 15 one. I think I have one where they did like one of the anniversaries for Final Fantasy and it has all of the pixel art all over it and stuff like that. And they have like special multi-page spreads of like interviews or like a special article and stuff like that. So I could definitely see like buying special issues. But yeah, having like a monthly thing because then it would have to be like special every month. Otherwise you get your monthly issue and you're like, but this was fine. Like there was some interesting stuff in it, but now I have to like get rid of this. I have to try to recycle this. And nowhere in America does actual recycling. So you're just kind of like, this is now taking up space on my shelf.
Yeah, and because it's like too, it's like, okay, by the time, because it takes so long, it's like the cover story would be like the one thing that no one else will have the scoop on. But it's like everything else in it, it's like, okay, by the time it hits print, it's like I'll probably already have read it on IGN, some other site, some news aggregate about a thing, and I don't have to wait for, the article. But if it's a big, hey, here's the sequel to so and so's popular franchise, it's like, okay, it'll be everybody else will be reporting on that, so it has to release then. But yeah, because I liked PSM back in the day because it was like I loved the covers, like, that like, whoever did the artwork for the covers was always really cool, and, of course, as a kid, whenever they had, like, the swimsuit edition ones, obviously, those were when you're a kid, it's like, "Yeah, swimsuit edition, yo, this is dope."
Hmm.
The joke April Fool's editions of, like, Nude Raider and stuff like that, like the April
I
Fool's,
I'll be
magazines.
honest, like the April Fools ones and the swimsuit ones were hilarious as a kid. And like looking back on it, I just kind of think like, man, my parents must have just been worried about me.
Yeah, but I think I only got them up until I'm like going through an archive of PSM, and I think I might have stopped once the PS a little bit after the PS2 came out, or right before, because like I'm looking at these articles, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this Metal Gear 2 cover. I remember these covers. Like I'm going like, yeah, I recall these entirely, and then yeah, I think I stopped, and of course later on they became PlayStation the official magazine. I stopped picking them up then, and then I used to only get magazines when they have like the demo disc in it. I'm like, oh yo, demo disc! I'm like, this is awesome. But yeah, I think we stopped because I used to have Nintendo magazine as well when I was a kid for some I don't know why. I had like Nintendo mag. I think because I was into Pokemon when that first came out, so they had like the Pokemon comics were in that magazine.
Hmm.
You like pop them out of there, you pull them out,
Well,
but.
the Nintendo magazine, I feel like it must have come with like something else that was probably really popular for parents because I got the Nintendo magazine too when it wasn't actually applicable to me. So I kind of feel like the Nintendo magazine was like for a while at least an alternative to other games magazines, and even if you didn't own a Nintendo because of how popular Pokemon and other genres or games at the time were, everyone just still bought it.
Yeah.
It was just like how you stayed up on things.
Man, first issue of PSM, I'm just looking at it's like it's here, FF11, 10-page guide plus pull out tip card, and then 16 pages of every PlayStation code ever. Mind blowing. Crash 2, Blasto, Gex 2, Castlevania, Tomb Raider 2, Game Day 98, Madden 98. This cover. Yeah, just whoever did like the cover art was always like was really good. I don't know if it was someone in house or they were I don't know why it has a plus symbol. But like just that class, I remember that classic cover. But yeah, and then the sticker packs, like we talked about it before, like hundreds of episodes ago. But like the memory card sticker packs that would come in PSM, those are always so cool. I was
Hmm.
like, oh man, there's no obviously you don't have memory cards now unless you have like an Xbox and you have like the SSD card. But yeah, like that was just so cool. But yeah, I don't know what would need to happen for me to get a physical magnet because then I think okay now I got to store it so now I got to get like a shelf spot specific for it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, but good that they're back. Maybe I'll just subscribe to their digital version this time around. and they're gonna bring the podcast back and everything, so that'll be good. And then moving on, No Man's Sky got the Relics update. Now that you become a space paleontologist, so you can dig up some old bones out of the ground. It's like there are people just sitting there going like, "Yo, it'd be pretty cool. Let's." They're big fans of Ross from Friends, and they're like, "Yo, I want to
Dude,
dig up some bones."
don't even tease it. It would be cool. You can dig up space dinosaurs. Also, this is another one of those like fuck No Man's Sky in the best of way kind of comments, because I'm just like, every fucking year No Man's Sky is like my second or third most played game because they release these updates and then change so many little things, and for some reason I forget everything about that game regularly, and I'm like, well, guess it's time to go back and play it again.
Yeah, it'll be cool, like, when you can go off to someone's base somewhere. 'Cause I think they have, like, shared like, when you go to those portals, there's, like, some bases that'll be, like, featured. It's like maybe you can go to someone's cool base, but they got, like it's just a museum of a bunch of stuff they put together. But I'm like, are they all gonna fit? Like, they show them putting the bones together. I'm like, are they gonna be like, "Oh, they have to be for this creature," or can people make, like, their most Sid monstrosity dinosaur bone kinda thing? So I'm like,
Or
we'll
creatures,
see."
but skeletons.
Yeah. It's like they got legs where their arms are supposed to be. It's like, what is going on? But yeah, we'll see. And then there was a survival horror game announced called Quite a Ride. That's essentially Pacific Drive, but on a bike with a dog in a basket. And
I saw this. I
Excellent.
love it.
Excellent.
yeah, and I'm like, okay. The description, as described by Goodwin, which is Goodwin Games, says, "quote You travel by bicycle through a foggy world landscape filled with eerie secrets and monsters lurking in the dense mist. The game's atmosphere and themes draw inspiration from Stephen King's works and iconic horror films of the 80s and 90s." End quote. Now, I will say, okay, the things that are different is that there's no well, and maybe there are later on, but like there's no like monsters. Like there's the robots in Pacific Drive that will like grab your car and pull them away. But there's no like creatures out there. There's little like mechanical things, these magnetic spiky balls that drain your car's battery if they attach on you. So it's that kind of stuff. There's no like monsters. But I'm like, man, this is just Pacific Drive on a bike. You got to take care of your bike. It's got resources. I'm like, all right, I guess this is the genre of get from point A to
The
point B. But
the thing I will say about like watching the trailer for the biking game is it looks a lot more like an atmospheric game than a horror game to me.
mhm.
Because it doesn't really look like there's any sorts of like, it didn't really appear to be that there were like imminent threats or death or things you actually had to run from. I know that like in part of the trailer they say like don't look back when it's chasing you,
Mhm.
but everything about the trailer to me screamed it's going to be atmospheric but not actually have jump scares or things that you have to actually fight or contend with. Whereas Pacific Drive, like you mentioned, does actually have like you can actually fail in that game. In the biking game, my first impression was like you don't really fail.
Yeah, well, it does say
Well,
like
then your dog would die, and that would be sad.
yeah, and it does say like your phone battery drains over time and must be recharged by continuing to pedal your bike, and that phone will keep sending you strange messages that
But
might help or hurt you.
this is this is what I was confused by though. So it says you have to keep your phone charged, and your phone is charged by pedaling your bike, but pedaling your bike is the point of the game. So it's not like it is a loop where it's like you have to get off and explore some haunted
Well, you do.
monstrous area in order to charge your phone. You just charge your phone by pedaling your bike.
Well, it's got to be like, hey, I want to, uh, I want to explore this point of interest that maybe the voice on the phone told me to go check out, but I have to get off my bike. It's like, okay, if my battery's not charged enough, I got to keep riding. Oh, that thing is chasing me that I can't look back on. Okay, I need to find a stretch where I can do like a U-turn without looking directly behind me, and then go
I,
back to that bit.
maybe. I don't know. I'm just not like, I know they said it was a horror game, but I'm not convinced it's going to be like a full jump scare horror game. I could see it being more like I was going to say a walking simulator, but like just watching the trailer, I'm still interested in it. I could just see it being more of like one of those lower key horror games where
Yeah.
you can't really have like a state of failure, or it's much more about just riding your bike through a spooky atmosphere than it is like Alien Isolation where you're trying to escape the alien.
Yeah, the road is always changing, but Goodwin says there's a unique pseudo multiplayer twist saying players' collective's global efforts can change the environment, unlocking new locations, hidden characters, and secret quests over time. So I guess working together to
I
help
mean, it
solve
looks
stuff.
fun. I'm interested in it. I thought it looked funny too. I'm down.
I like the subtitle or the subheadline is "And your little dog too," which is I thought was pretty good
Protect the
information.
pupper.
Uh, yeah. And then the last bit of news is that Ubisoft has created a subsidiary company based on its AC Games, Far Cry, Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six brands, with about a $1.25 billion investment from Tencent, which is about 25%, makes them a 25% stakeholder in this. And they'll be focused on, obviously these big franchises there. But I'm like, is this interesting move to try to keep yourself, afloat? Because they've had kind of obviously AC Shadows is doing really well, based on the player count and what have you. But I mean, I guess this is the move, just try to not dissolve and not get just taken over entirely by some other entity, I guess. But
Hmm.
it's interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Is Ubisoft actually doing that badly? I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard talk of them doing poorly, but is it like, I don't know, I've never really looked into why.
Well, their battle royale didn't do well, and they've had a lot of other, miscellaneous titles that didn't do well. Prince of Persia didn't sell well, even though it's a smaller game. It's not like they put a ton of
The
money
the
into that.
2D one?
Yeah, even though it's
Oh,
critically
okay.
acclaimed, it didn't
Yeah.
sell that well, and that because they closed down that studio, so that studio's gone. And like I don't think Mirage, AC Mirage, sold particularly well. Granted, it wasn't a mainline title, so maybe that's why. But yeah, like a lot of their recent titles. What's that one Ubisoft like sports multiplayer Sports game.
Genuinely not sure.
Riders Republic, like that didn't do too well. Like it's got a player base, but they're not like doing huge. Like Rainbow Six Siege is still going strong. They're having like the Rainbow Six Siege X update, which will change a lot of stuff. But like, yeah, a lot of their other stuff.
I guess I can't think of any Ubisoft games I've played recently aside from the Assassin's Creeds.
I
I'm
Yeah,
feel
sure
like this
I've played
is
some, but like, Jesus, what have I played by Ubisoft lately?
I think this feels similar to something we've talked about in the past where it's like they're doing fine, but fine isn't good enough.
yeah. It's
Like they want more money to do bigger projects, I guess, and they want more like investment to have. I mean, I guess in light of all of the recent like closures and layoffs and stuff, maybe they just want a bit of a safety net and that's what they're going for, but I feel like they're doing fine. Just because they're not like at the top of everybody's like zeitgeist or whatever and everybody's talking about other things or more interested in other things and they're seeing like all the success of other things that have come out and other studios and stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like they're doing okay. They're just not as successful as they were at the height of Assassin's Creed popularity.
they've had too many big misses. Like Star Wars Outlaws did not do massive numbers. X Defiant, they shut down that studio because that did not do well. Skull and Bones obviously didn't do well. Like I said, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown didn't do well. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, even though it's like technically super impressive and gameplay wise, it's fun. Like that didn't do really well. I have no idea how Just Dance is doing. Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm just going back through the list of stuff recently. It's like Mirage didn't do well. I have no idea about the Crew Motorfest. And let's see. I'm trying to see all these other big games that they got. Like Mario and Rabbids Sparks Hope, like that does well on the Switch. But I'm just checking these other. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction didn't do well. That was a flop. Riders Republic, like I said, didn't do well. Far Cry 6 did.
God, I haven't played any of these games.
Immortals Phoenix Rising didn't do well. And yeah, it's like Watch Dogs Legion didn't do as well as they needed it to. So they have like they're putting out a lot, but a lot of their big stuff that has like a lot of money behind it just isn't doing well. Like
Hmm.
it's yeah, Hyperscape, that was the name of that the battle royale they had. That did not do well. They put a lot of money into the BR. That was in 2020. So that's also during COVID, so that didn't do them any help at all. But then small things like Trackmania does well. Obviously Tom Clancy's Division 2 still going strong. They have a lot of smaller stuff, but a lot of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla did well. But it's like a lot of the other things they tried just didn't pan out. And I feel like that's why the subsidiary, it's AC, it's Far Cry, it's Tom Clancy, it's the franchises that do numbers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
When I was thinking
just
like in terms of like the last few games I've been excited for from them, a lot of them just have never materialized. Like I really liked their 2D RPGs, which I think did above average. I'm thinking, God, I'm blanking on what they are now. Zaya, help. What
Yeah.
were their
Sure.
2D the 2D RPGs that Ubisoft released? They were,
Ubisoft made 2D RPGs.
God, I'll look it up. Um,
Is it
but
like
like aside,
Triangle Strategy or something like that? No, that's like a
no,
yes.
RT. That's like a
I'm
tactics game.
blanking on it. I'll look it up. But other than that, like I played or wanted to play Beyond Good and Evil, which just never materialized.
Yeah, I feel like that's also a big money sink as well in the back end. So it's like they're putting a bunch of money in that, and that's like vaporware at this point. And
Yeah,
then all these
Child of
other
Light.
games, yeah, Child of Light. That's way back.
That's what it was like.
Oh.
That was like one of the last ones, like Child of
UB
Light
Arts,
and
Valiant
yeah,
Arts.
a
Yeah,
few of those games. But it's been a while, other than Assassin's Creed, and even with Assassin's Creed, I've played, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, and I'll get Shadows, but I haven't played any of the other non-mainline ones. And even with these mainline ones, Valhalla, despite it being the most interesting lore to me, I thought it was weaker than Origins and Odyssey. And it was like, or I was just growing tired of it. But it was like, I love Norse mythology. That should have been the best game in the world to me for Assassin's Creed. And for me, it was just like, yeah, it's a good game, but it's way too
Mhm.
fucking big.
Yeah, like since 20, I'm looking at everything from 2020 to now, and it's like, yeah, it's just too much. Like they don't have that PS4 era hit that they're doing, like you said, with the
Like,
UB Arts titles and other stuff.
it seems a little bit like the things that they're putting a lot of money into and they're not doing as well is a lot of things where they're kind of chasing trends. I know Skull and Bones was kind of like, I feel like a little bit of unfortunate timing because I think that could have been really, really good, but Sea of Thieves just did it like way better and with like a way better visual style and stuff like that. So I wonder if they felt a little bit of pressure to do too much with it to make it more unique. But like the battle royale and just like you're right, like a lot of their smaller stuff, it does really well and people really like it. It just doesn't have the same kind of marketing and publicity and eyes on it the way that their major franchises do, or that the things that they're trying to push as far as like, hey, this is what we do. We do big open world. And it's like, well, you keep making the open world bigger and bigger, but you're not really like adding the
It's
content to it, which I feel like it's true with Valhalla, but anytime they try to chase like a popularity or a trend or they try to do their own take on things, I feel like that's where the money goes, but then it fails a little bit harder.
I I think I loved Origins because it was one of the first Assassin's Creeds I played in a while where I was like, wow, you actually tried to change up the formula, make it a bit more RPG like.
Mhm.
You actually tried to do something different with your game and it worked really well. I do feel like Ubisoft, like, there was a joke, I don't know, 10 years ago about how all of Ubisoft's games essentially boiled down to open world, find tower that reveals portion of map, go to new area, find tower that reveals portion of map. And
Mhm.
it was like Ubisoft, it was, or Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Watch Dogs, like so many of the games that they released were basically the exact same game or very similar with like a light coat of paint on top of it. And I know that like Assassin's Creed is, assassin type game, and then Far Cry is a shooter and things like that. And there are like some gameplay differences, but there was the joke that pretty much all of their successful games were built the exact same way. And I feel like they just don't iterate enough.
Mhm.
They're too samey with too many things that they release.
Yeah, like calling a game a Ubisoft open world game for a game that's not a Ubisoft game is like its own genre. Like they say, oh, how like Ubisoft open world is it? Does it got a bunch of junk on the map? Are you clearing out towers? Which is funny because like I love that loop. I mean, I love it in Far Cry. Like I love just going to take out this outpost, sneaking in, kill everybody, take it over, move
Mhm.
on, climb the tower. And luckily, like in Far Cry 5, they got rid of that because they make fun of the climb the tower thing. Like you turn on the one radio tower once you come out the bunker, and the guy on the radio he's like, "Don't worry, I ain't gonna make you climb a bunch of these towers all over the place. Just get this one done." And it's like you only do that one. So they're like we're self-aware, and you don't do that in like Far Cry 6. You don't do any tower stuff. The revealing thing is just there. I'm trying to think like Assassin's Creed. Obviously, they still have the climb the. Although the first one I did in Shadows, I don't remember it telling me to like sync because I technically was still in the tutorial. So I don't know if they still do the climb up, hit sync, spin around the camera, do that, which is just at that point. I mean, that's a staple of Assassin's Creed, so keep it in there. But yeah, because even in Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, I'm trying to recall if there was like a go up here and sync this thing. Like I don't think there were any towers in that game, luckily. But yeah, it is really common. I'm sure Immortal Phoenix Rising probably had something like that. But yeah, I feel like probably the pandemic really hurt them, like because they had a lot of new stuff come out in like Division 2 launched in March of 2020. And I know that game like didn't do well. Like I didn't pick it up at launch either. I didn't pick it up until it had the PS5 update for it. And then like Trackmania did well, but then they had Hyperscape came out in August of 2020. It's like there's no way people are going to be. They're too focused. They've spent so much time indoors. Like they're focused on other stuff. It's like there's no way. And then Watch Dogs Legions, and AC Valhalla was 2020. That's so long. But yeah, it's tough. And we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe hopefully this is good enough for them to where they can kind of like focus on their core franchises, and then like it's a shame that Star Wars Outlaws didn't do better. I mean, because I enjoyed the time I've spent with it, and it's a game I want to go back to. I haven't because I've been playing other stuff. Like if I was like a Star Wars person, I probably definitely would have like stuck.
God,
in it
wasn't
longer.
that the game that had all the political drama too? Or is that a different Star Wars game? Am I blanking on which Star Wars game had the writer from
No,
Naughty Dog leave?
no idea.
Oh, I
Oh.
don't know. I was gonna say it pissed off a lot
No.
of internet dweebs because it had a female protagonist.
Yeah, that too.
No.
No,
That's the
Amy
only thing
Hennig,
I know of.
the Amy Hennig one that she was doing that got canceled by EA. Like that
That was EA, right?
was EA, and they just didn't release that
Didn't
game.
release it. Sure.
Yeah, so
I was
that
like,
was just like
I remember there was one. I can't remember which though.
because the Bounty Hunter one they got canceled, never released, and then Amy Hennig's Star Wars game, Ragtag, I think it was codename Ragtag. That didn't see the light of day. That got canceled, so it's like it's done. Just Amy, like we can't get any Star Wars games from these folks who are doing this stuff, and poor Amy Hennig couldn't get a game out after she departed from Naughty Dog. So, but now she's got the Black Panther Captain America game, which hopefully does well. So, but yeah, no, not this one. Yeah, we'll see what happens with them. So. Yeah, because even stuff like I think like Division Heartland I think got canceled. I'm trying to see here. Was set to be released. Yeah, I think they canceled that, which is a shame because I was looking forward to Heartland. Like Heartland seemed like it would have been a lot of fun because I liked the Division 2 and I liked what they were doing. But yeah, Skull and Bones was like they should have just stopped developing that because I mean that shit started in 2013 development after Black Flag came out. So it's like you just gotta. I feel like you just gotta pull it. Like it would have been good, but if you can't land the plane on that one within that time frame of that popular Assassin's Creed game, it's like
Yeah.
it's too much time, man. You spend too long.
Anything that's so stuck in development hell that it takes a long time and kind of deviates from what you were making in the first place, that should be a clue as to like maybe we should just shelve this because the hype of what we were doing before is dead, and I don't think this is going to revive it again.
Yeah, they're like, man, Duke Nukem Forever did really well. Let's just keep
Oof.
going.
Oof.
But but yeah, hopefully it works out for them. Yeah, because I mean, despite the failures, like I don't want to see Ubisoft go away. It's like I like their games. It's just it's a shame that the other stuff they try, and it's nice that at least they're trying other things. Like I should go back and like I should go look at the lifetime of them, or not life, maybe just like the past two console gens, and see like okay, what are some new IPs that came out of these that they tried versus the amount of stuff that came out from like EA or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news. Like I said, not a whole lot this week. Yeah, so we can go ahead and move on to what we've been playing. Go and start with you, Zai. What have you been playing?
Monster Hunty.
How's it going?
It's so fun. I finished the main story. I finished the post-game story and all the side quests, and I still think about just playing that game constantly. I have a massive wish list that I need to get through, and every time I find a part that goes on my wish list, it makes a special little ding noise and shows me on the corner that where I am, my progress, and it tells me when something's ready to craft, and that that tickles the very specific part of my brain of like checking off to-do lists. So that's kind of what keeps me going. But other than that, this last was it Tuesday? Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 had their 7.2 patch update. Had like the new MSQ, the new tier of the 8-man raid. So I played that for a couple days, and I'll probably try the new tier of the raid today or tomorrow. I have tomorrow off, so we'll see. But also I just keep thinking I want to play Monster Hunter. I wish I could play both of them at the same time. So, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it. At least having a good time there. I saw Michael was playing. You go ahead. I'll try to figure out what Michael was playing.
No, I was gonna say the wish list thing. Is that like you wish list parts in Monster Hunter or like armor pieces?
You can wish list weapons or armor pieces, and I haven't found a limit to it so far. I mean, I have 5 pages of wish list items right now. But yeah, you wish list a specific weapon or a specific piece of armor, and it gives you it's it breaks it all down. It shows you what's on your wish list, and then it has like a resources tab, so it shows you a list of everything that you need for everything on your wish list. And then whenever you go gather or you kill a monster and you harvest parts and stuff like that, if you get something that is part of your wish list, it makes a special gathering noise, and then it pops up on the side. It says, oh, this is piece 8 of 12. You still need this many. And then if you get enough items to complete something on your wish list, it'll tell you what you've completed and that it's ready to be crafted.
It's a fun system.
It tickles my brain and I love it.
That's what you got to do.
Michael was playing No Man's Sky the other day.
He's playing Jotun Slayer Hordes of Hell.
Oh, is that what he's playing right now?
Well, not right now, but he played that on the other day. I saw him on Steam. I was like, "What the hell is this game?" And he played another game called Max Manos, and I was like, "Don't know what this is." Like, it's because it'll pop up and see and be like, "Hey, so and so's playing this game," and I'll be like, "No idea what the game is."
He's been trying different like smaller games, indie games, stuff like that, like stuff that's on his wish list that he's maybe seen other people play or he heard about or whatever. And if it's cheap or if it's on sale, he'll buy it and try it. So he's been playing a lot of weird stuff lately.
Yeah, that'll do it. Izzy, what have you been playing? We finished. I mean, we talked. Did we finish? When did we finish?
Yeah, we talked about Split Fiction last week.
Yeah, last we did. Okay, what have you been playing since then?
I've been playing a little bit of Wanderstop, and God,
that's right.
I sitting down in a really creaky chair. I wonder if you heard that.
Yeah, it really sounded like a rocking chair. I was like, what the hell's he sitting in?
Dude, I'm like, wow, that was shockingly loud. I never realized how loud it was. No, it's like a wicker chair.
Yep.
But I am kind of holding off on that because I'm going on a little bit of a trip next week. So I figured Wanderstop is like the perfect game to play on a trip and a good travel game. So I actually I did open up No Man's Sky and I started playing No Man's Sky again. I just really like No Man's Sky. It's fun, and every single time I play, it's like a different experience. So many things have changed. I'm so confused as to like how you suit out your armor and ships now, and now you can upgrade ships, and things don't seem to matter. Certain things don't matter anymore, like because you could just pay money to upgrade them. So I'm diving back into No Man's Sky, and then next week I'll go on a trip and play Wanderstop. But not a lot of new games this particular week. I didn't really play as much as I thought I would.
I didn't try that first Berserker Kazan demo that came out. Everyone's trying.
No.
Was it a demo?
Yeah.
I thought it was a full game. God, I actually thought it was a movie or something.
I'm sure that the full game probably did, but I know people were playing like the demo of it.
No. Is that based off of the actual Berserk anime, or is it something totally different?
It's totally different.
Totally different.
I was like, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it's the game that got shown at I think like the Game Awards by the whatchamacallit. Oops, stop playing that right now. By the Russo brothers or whatever. Weren't they like part of this or something like that? They came out and talked about. Yeah, there's like a demo. Like everybody's playing the demo. But yeah,
maybe I'll check it out. I got enough games to play.
Ooh, I still haven't bought Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I need to get that.
I feel like that was a game that came out like 12 years ago.
It was. It was on Apple Arcade for a long time. And then this is what started my whole rant about like why is physical media so fucking annoying to get now, because it came out 2 months ago but for digital only, and then just last week it came out for physical for Switch.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird stuff. I think it's probably because it's a small game, it's probably like, okay, it's so easy to just self-publish digitally that getting stuff physical probably is harder to do.
This is why I'm like, yeah, maybe I would be okay with Game Informer being a subscription print article thing, because these things frustrate me.
I mean, Alan Wake 2 was digital only because it was cheaper than getting physical media. I think only the collector's edition was physical, right?
I don't remember, but I do remember being annoyed about that.
It was a controversy. Like, we were like, oh, you can't get a physical edition of Alan Wake. It's like, no, it's cheaper for us, and like they're such a small team, and it's like, yeah, that's how you gotta do it. But yeah, I haven't played too much Gray Zone Warfare. I'm waiting for the 0.3 update to come out, or not 0.3 as the British call it. Because I watched this one streamer, Sinister, and he keeps saying not 0.3. I'm like, okay, I get it. Zed, I get it.
Calm down.
But I'm waiting for that update because that'll be the reset. So then I'll go back and start again, and with the new update, fresh character, yada yada, and just burn through. I'll be able to burn through a bunch of those challenges or tasks like super quick. Plus, you can the update they're making to where you don't have to go back to the forward operating base to turn in your tasks is going to be like such a huge quality of life thing. Cause like there's so many times like I don't want to go back to base. I just want to fly around and complete all these objectives. But it's like I have to go back because I need to turn in this item. Because if I die, I'm gonna drop it. So it's like I
This
want
game
to.
isn't. Is it early release right now
It's early access. Yeah, essentially.
or early access? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no, the
I couldn't
1.0 is
remember if
a
it was
ways out.
actually released.
Yeah, no. Like at 1.0, I think it launched in, I forget when 1.0 came out, but like the 0.1, the 0.2 update came out in November, and then 0.3 will be coming out. They don't have a date on it, but people are assuming it might be in like a couple weeks, maybe first week April, something like that. We'll see. But yeah, I haven't played too much of that. Just a lot of Balatro on mobile and PC. I managed to finish Gold Stake on the Ghost deck on mobile, and I'm just working up to beat Gold Stake on the Gold deck on PC because I'm not running this. I should be running the same decks on both, so at least I'm running the same mechanics or like perk of the deck at the same time in the same tiers and whatnot. But I had like a really good hand the other day. It was one of those broken Joker combos that like you can get through anti-8 like super easy, but I didn't have good enough scaling to them once you get to like, once the antis start to jump up like exponentially, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna, there's no way. But at least I cleared anti-8 like super quick. It was great. I had like early on I had and this only applied to people who've played Balatro, but I had that the knife Joker. I forget the name of the Joker, but it's like the one where it destroys the Joker to the right and doubles its cell value into its multiplier. And then I had the Joker that spawns 2 common Jokers every time an antis or blind is selected. So I was like spawning Jokers to have them consumed by the one. And then eventually I got the rare Joker that every time you add a card to your deck, it gets 0.25 malt. And then I got the DNA Joker. And then I got the blueprint Joker. So I'm just duplicating my high card at the start of every round. So I'm adding 0.5 malt to the one Joker every time. And then I just keep buying one extra Joker to feed the knife. And that's all I'm doing. So the knife Joker's getting like, multiple points of multiplication added to it every blind. And then I just keep adding more cards. My deck got over 80 cards. And it's like I was just duplicating aces out the wazoo. And it was like, but it was so funny because if I roll a hand that didn't have any aces in it, I'd be like, what the hell, man? Because I wasn't getting enough tarot packs that had the death tarot card in it. So I couldn't like destroy any cards. And I was like, but it was nice. Like there's so many times you play Balatro where it's like, oh man, I would love to run this combo of Jokers. And like I would love to run Gold Mask and Vampire Joker at the same time. And I've had that happen in some instances, but typically it's not early enough in the run to make it snowball enough into the later antes to be worth it. So it's nice when you get like, oh, here's a great combo of Jokers. It's so interesting because they have that tarot Joker where it's like its malt is based on the number of tarot cards you used, but that one works retroactively. So if you get that one on anti 5, it's like if you opened up 20 tarot cards or used them, it has 20 malt. But there's other ones where it's like, oh, this one gets malt for every planet card you used. I think that one might be, oh, you know why? It's because that one's actual, it's not plus malt, it's times malt. So that's why to balance, I guess, because they wouldn't want to give you a bunch of.
I feel like I need to play this game to understand what you're saying because I just want to point out that you sound absolutely insane right now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I never watched Northern play it.
Describing this game, you just sound crazy. And I kind of am like, I feel like a lot of games that we play, it's really easy to describe the game itself and not sound like a psycho, or be able to describe it to like a layperson what the game is. And everything you're just saying, I'm like, I play a ton of games, and I'm just sitting here like, the fuck are you even talking about?
Balatro is so funny to listen to people talk about because it's just like you see the game and you expect one thing, and then people start talking about it, and you're like, I don't think I know how to play card games.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. It's a poker roguelike. Like it's as long as you know poker hands. Like, yeah, I think you would love it. Don't get it on your phone. Get it on your computer and then or on console or your Switch or something. I think you'd have a fun time with a Balatro.
I mean, I understand poker and I understand roguelikes, but then you're like, I have the knife joker that consumes the other jokers next to me, and I had an 80 card deck. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
the fuck is happening in this game?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah, essentially, it's like all you're doing is playing a poker hand, and then you're just getting these augmentations that like increase the amount of points you get from those hands, and that's what you need to do is get better cards that give you better multiplication values, so you can beat higher and higher blinds in the poker runs. That's all you're doing. So it's like jokers will just give you bonuses to that.
Yeah, but then you get the joker that spawns the other jokers, and the
That's right.
just sounds wild.
Yeah,
And
it's
then eventually you get tarot cards.
yeah, and there's tarot and
Do
there's
you
planet
really?
cards. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's tarot cards. And there's I was talking about earlier. I never I need the death tarot card. I didn't have it, but there's planet cards. There's planet cards as well, and yada yada.
It
And there's
just
double
sounds
tags. There's booster
wild.
packs.
Why should I not get it on mobile? Just so I can play with you, or is it a bad
No, it's
version on
single
mobile?
only. No, mobile's fine. It's just you said not 30 minutes ago how you're addicted to your phone. So
Okay, so you
Don't
were
don't
just
get it on a device that you have on you at all times.
okay.
yeah,
Well, I that's valid. I just didn't know if you meant like
no, it's great.
because
If
it's
it
a
had cloud save,
worse
I would say
version or something.
no. It's a very good version. If it had cloud save, I would say go ahead and get it because then you can get it on start on mobile and get it later. But I'd say just get it on the platform that you use the most. That way, that's where your primary progress is. And then later you can decide, like, you know what, I do want to play this while I'm on vacation, but you're gonna have to start over. But at least you'll have prior knowledge and you know what jokers. You just have to start unlocking them and this and that. You'll know how to play the hands better and what works. But yeah, Balatro is just a good game. Obviously, it won so many awards. Local thunk, local hero, more like.
Mhm.
So aside from that, Balatro, I did pick up. Oh, what did I pick up? Where to go? Oh, I can't find it. Oh, Atomfall. So Atomfall came out in early access this week. Not early access. It came out on Thursday, but I bought the deluxe edition that let you play it on Monday. So I've been playing it all week. Only for about 15, just shy of 16 hours. Uh,
That's like how long most people say it takes to beat, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, where I am, I think what I need to do is almost like I think it'll probably finish it because there's like essentially this one objective I had to do where it's like you had to power up this place and I got access to it, but then it had like this blue miasma and I couldn't pass through it. But I got the essentially the tonic that lets me get resistance to it to where I could go, okay, this lets me go back in. I can go power up that section of this lab, essentially. But I forgot about it, so I haven't done that, so I kept powering up all the other sections I needed to do, and I'm like, "Oh, that's right, I gotta go back to that first one and do it," so I need to do that. I had this, I like Atomfall a lot. It's kind of like it's interesting because it's like a more condensed Fallout, I suppose. Like, it's not giant open world, like, there's so many ways you can hear about a point of interest or a lead in the game, but there's not necessarily because it's not giant open world, it's not like, "Oh, did you go to Megaton first? Did you go to Diamond City first? Did you go to this other thing first?" Like, all these different places you can go to in Fallout to learn about something. It's not like this is like, okay, it's these open world chunks, like these zones. But the way you start in the first one, the guy, like, tells you, like, "Oh, the interchange," and you know you have to find the interchange. And then he hears a rumor it's over here, but then you can talk to more people and they say, "Oh, we think it's over here." Now, there are different entrances to the interchange that you need to find in other areas, so there it is helpful to talk and try to figure out where that entrance is, but I feel like there's so many times I'll come across the same clue from different people or different sources, while I'm still on the main path, and I'll
It's interesting though that you would describe it as Fallout because I feel like a lot of people or a lot of reviews I've read have essentially said like this is not Fallout. Don't go in expecting Fallout.
I
But
just meant more
you
like
actually think it's like similar vibe to it or
well, I never played Stalker, and people compare it to Stalker, so I can't compare it to Stalker because I have no frame of reference. I just mean, like, it's more like if you took, like, the map of, like, Fallout 4 or something and kinda, like, squished it down to 25% to where everything is closer together, it's like, then the clues and stuff you're getting for the MSQ are gonna be much closer. So it's like, this game could have been bigger, and then it's like, "Okay, did the player go northeast first or northwest first?" And it's like, "Okay, we need to make sure we have a version of this clue to a location in each of these spots so at least we can no matter where the player goes we can give them a clue that they might need to get somewhere else, so it's not like, oh, if you went right, well, all the clues are on the left. So they kind of like super saturate clues to the same objectives, But because the game's so condensed, you find a lot of that stuff multiple times. Like, oh, well, I already know about like the early on. It's like, go find the entrance to the interchange. I'm like, oh, well, I found it because I talked to this guy that was like right pretty close once you get out the gate from the game. And he's like, oh, I heard a rumor that it might be over here. And then you talk to other people and they tell you like the same thing, or you find notes and whatnot. And it's kind of similar for other spots. Like, oh, I already know about this. Or like, I found a guy. He's like, oh, go talk to there's a lady Mago. She'll help you with something and blah blah blah. But then in her case at least, I missed like she had these like slender the 8 pages posted notes everywhere in the forest, like, hey, do you need some help? Come find me. I'm over here. But I already found out about her from someone else. But that was an instance where, like, oh, they actually had here's how you would find her in the world. I only found her from this way, and I totally missed those notes that were on the trees. Like I like that. But there are a lot of times where I'm like, I'm getting similar information, especially if I go back and explore. Like if I go back and explore a spot I didn't in an early area, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. It would be here because if I had explored this region to 100%, I would have found it and got this information faster. So it is interesting. That it's like, you kind of, if you don't mind getting repeat information a lot, that's fine. But it is interesting that it's like this could have been expanded slightly more, perhaps, like area, to not run into that. That's like the only issues. Like, okay, you're just telling me the same stuff.
Have
But
you been
overall,
enjoying it though? Like combat, exploration, the actual like detective stuff? I guess you
yeah,
could call it detective stuff.
I like. Well, the problem thing is too is like, okay, they tell me like go find the interchange, and you don't know why. So it's like, okay, you got to find it. But people, when they give you like, oh, let me mark your map, like let me mark it. So they'll like, if you find the people that you can ask them about a thing, like they'll kind of tell you like, oh, there's something over here. I heard a rumor about this. It's over there, and they'll like mark it on your map. So it's like, okay, now you just have to go find it. Now you could have found that stuff naturally, but like they'll mark it for you. So I'm like, I'm fine with that. Like it's looking for clues and whatnot. Like there was this one guy, I found a basement to this building, and there's a note about someone being murdered with poison. And then I found the guy who signed the note he's a vendor, and I'm like, and I had a thing where I could like accuse him of murdering someone, and he's like, I'm like, hey, you're the one who killed someone. It's like, hey, don't go around screaming that. I don't want the guards to hear me. Yada, yada. And he like, if you want to, you can be lawful. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go turn you in. And you can like turn him into the stuff to gain favor with a bunch of the military that's there. Or like, and then it's funny because then the same person that's killed, they died in this church, and you go in the church and like you sneak up on the priest that's there and this other person who's in the church, and they find the body and they're whispering about it, and they go, oh, nothing to see here. And you go, what's this, a dead body? He goes, please don't tell the guards about it. I don't they'll bad stuff will happen. They'll like, I don't know how they died and yada yada. And then like you can turn both them in if you want to like gain curry favor with the guards, which I should have done in hindsight for this one area that I blasted my way through. But yeah, I'm liking it. Like I like, I feel like I should have upped the ammo, like the scavenging difficulty higher earlier. The problem is I didn't want to up, like I kept everything on the recommended like difficulty they have, which seems to be quote unquote hard because there's only one difficulty higher. So it feels like, okay, recommended is like the hard mode, I guess. But I still feel like I have a lot of ammo. Now I burned through a lot of my ammo by blasting my way through a military base because I didn't curry the favor with the captain like I could have to be able to walk in freely. The only one of the only issues I have with the game is that enemies respawn too quickly. Like if I kill a bunch of people outside like a bunker or some other like zone I can go into, once I come right back out, they're respawned. And I'm like, I kind of wish, but they don't do it everywhere. Like there was this one major point of interest I did the other day where like I killed a bunch of people. I was looking for something for this person, and then went inside this castle. I'm like, I bet if I go back outside the castle now, all those people are going to be respawned, and it was kind of a pain to go through them because I didn't have like a ton of ammo or weapons at the time. And I went out back outside, and they're all still dead. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe because this is like a special place, they don't respawn here. And even the military base, when I got done with that section, when I zoned back out to the outdoor spot, like not all of the enemies had respawned. Like any of the robots you kill don't because you take their power source, so they don't respawn. But like only a small portion of people came back because I didn't kill 100% of the people in the area. So, but their bodies disappeared, which bugged me because I'm like, oh, they have so much ammo I could loot, but I couldn't loot them because there's this giant robot like shooting at me if I try to loot the bodies. But no, I really like it. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it feels like again, it's nice because it's like it's polished. It's not like Fallout's very buggy.
Fallout's pretty fucking jank. Any
Yeah.
Bethesda game is pretty jank.
But yeah, people are like, oh, it's a lot like Stalker. I'm like, I guess I should play Stalker if it's like that.
I
Um,
so I'm always confused by that because I have played Stalker and I would describe Stalker as like God, I don't even know. Stalker is like open world combat. I mean, it's a lot more like Metro, which you have played. Like Metro is more inspired by Stalker than Fallout. And you've
mhm.
played the Metro games. And did you play I can't remember what number the most recent one was, but the
Yes.
most recent one that had like the linear like it wasn't
Yep.
linear, it was like 6 open world maps.
Exodus. Yes.
Yeah. Stalker's a lot more like that than Fallout. So whenever people kind of describe it like that, I'm always thrown off because it didn't really look like Stalker in the trailers, but Stalker is a great game and I'm interested by it and I love it. So I'm curious if you feel like like would you compare it more to Metro if you thought of it like that, or would you still say it's
Yeah,
closer to Fallout?
I'd say it's more towards Metro because like it, especially Exodus, because Exodus also has kind of like that had much bigger open world areas. Like it's all open regions and everywhere you go. They are. What's interesting too is they're all interconnected with this place called the Interchange, which is essentially an underground lab. But the layouts don't line up. Like if you were to actually put like, oh, if the entrance to the Interchange is here and the entrance to the Interchange for the other zone, which is I'm on the southeast, and to get to the other zone, I have to go to the northwest. But then the entrance to the interchange in that zone is 10 feet to the left of where I came in. That wouldn't make any sense. Like they wouldn't line up in a real world. So that kind of throws me off a bit. I'm like, okay, these aren't right next to each other. Like the other spots kind of make I can see where they would fit, but this one I'm like, okay, they there's no way this would fit. So that throws me off a little bit. I'm like, all right, a little disbelief there on the level layout. But I guess yeah, more like Metro because like ammo is pretty scarce. The vendors don't like restock. I really like the barter system. Like there's no currency. I think that's really cool. Like if you want to buy stuff, you have to just trade it. They do have these like pneumatic tubes you can find, which are like storage facilities for you, and they're always in the interchange. So if you can find the interchange entrance, you're good. And they're usually in bunkers if you can find some bunkers. So it's like, okay, I got to, because you have a limited capacity in what you can carry. You can carry 4 big weapons. Pistols take up 1 spot, but I think you only have a 4x5. I think you got 20 inventory spaces, maybe 16, like not a whole lot. And you can't increase your backpack size. You can increase your pockets, which lets you carry more ammo and crafting materials, but you can't increase how much stuff you can carry. I'm like, oh man, I wish I can carry slightly more because of the barter system. I so often want to loot everything I can to put into a tube for later so I can barter it for stuff from vendors. Could be like, oh, this vendor sells a skill book that unlocks more skills for like weapons. Okay, but it's going to cost me a lot to buy it from this vendor. So I need to have like, and some vendors also have like, they have things they really want. So it'll be like, oh, this vendor loves Molotovs. So Molotovs have a higher trade value for this vendor. And it tells you in the game. And then there's stuff that they don't care about, like, oh, but I don't need this. So it has a negative trade value. But they don't like restock. Like they say, even though come back, I get restocked all the time. But I feel like they don't restock quite like other video games do. Like vendors in like Baldur's Gate will restock. I think after you rest, maybe. But like some games will be like, oh, if you wait a day in like Fallout or something, like the vendors will restock in Diamond City. But they don't fully restock like that. They don't necessarily get new stuff as you go along. It's kind of the same thing because I'm like, oh man, it'd be nice to if I could find some with like this specific type of ammo that because I feel like there's so much shotgun ammo in the game. But I'm like, oh, I'd love to get this one ammo type, but I can't get it. And I do like they have a crafting mechanic for the weapons if you unlock it, where you can take like weapons have different quality tiers. Like there's rusty, there's stock, and then there's I forget what they call the best quality one. But like you find like all these rusty weapons, and they have usually you know, oh the shotgun has high damage but low range, and your weapon sway is really heavy for the rusty weapons. But if you get 2 rusty weapons, you can combine them into the next tier of better weapon. And then if you get 2 of those, you can combine that into the best highest tier of that weapon. So I like that they have that. Like, ooh, because I was picking up so many weapons, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to trade them because I don't need all these versions of the same shotgun. And then later on, I found that skill. I'm like, oh, okay, you can craft better versions of these weapons. That's nice. But yeah, I like it. I like I said, I think the barter system's really fun. I like just going around looking for clues. Like I'm curious how many endings there are. Like based on what I played, I know there's got to be at least 2. there's like two distinct like factions, I guess you can call it. And then I feel like there's probably a third. No spoilers on like why I think that. Or maybe if it's not a third, maybe it's like an addendum to whatever ending you get, plus this thing you did also did this thing, like a multi-tiered ending. But I'm curious how many there are. I really wish I had done my first playthrough on stream as like just my murder playthrough, where I was gonna, because I heard about a preview person talk about in I forget who it was, but like they played in the preview, they just murdered everybody, and because you can kill everybody, vendors, anybody in this game, and but you could still progress through the story, obviously, because you can find clues from where you need to go and yada yada. So I'm like, oh, that'd be interesting to play through the game and just kill all the people. It'd be like, let's see if I can finish. How easy it is to finish this game if I just murdered all these folks.
Do we need to be worried about you?
No, because I was. It's only the key people, because obviously, like the regular like guard or outlaws that walk around the open areas, like they'll respawn, but like the main important folks, the vendors and stuff, I'm like that would be interesting to play through a game where you just like take everybody out, so you have to. No one's giving you clues on where something is. You just have to naturally find it or find the notes. So I'm like that's interesting. But no, I'm enjoying it. I had a weird performance issue. I think because I accidentally turned on game mode in Windows by mistake, because I was testing something out with Gray Zone Warfare, and like I was getting some pretty low FPS drops in the zone I was in. And I was like, even though my GPU utilization wasn't super high, I think by turning it on, I screwed myself up. So I gotta go back in and make sure that's not the case anymore. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm curious where it's going to go. It has so many influences from other things that I don't really want to say, because they might unveil like the mystery, especially if you're gonna play it. But like, there's so many like this movie that was on Netflix. I'm like, oh, this is so much like this movie, or this is so much like this thing, and yada yada. I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here, and I'm curious where it's going to go. I also had this weird instance where I saw something in the distance, and then when I went there, it was gone. I'm like, ooh, am I hallucinating? Like, is the character hallucinating this item
Can
that's
I
this
can
thing
I
that's not
guess
there?
what movie you want to compare it to?
Sure.
I guess you probably won't admit it, but I'm curious if you want to compare it to Annihilation.
No.
Okay.
No, I was a different movie
Okay.
that was on Netflix, but not that one. Like it's like a Netflix exclusive. No, that movie wasn't like a Netflix exclusive. But yeah, it's like it just for one aspect of it. I'm like, oh, this is a lot like that thing. So yeah, I'm curious like where it'll go. I got to be pretty close to the end. Again, because I feel like I've done the major objectives. It's just I'm wondering like, do I want to spend time trying to do this other thing that I think is either a third ending or a better outcome. Because I don't really care. It's like I'll align with whomever and make a choice. The game's pretty short. I can always just go back. I'll know where everything is. Because yeah, it's like, oh, you need these atomic batteries to power up these places. I'm like, but you get so many of them, because I just find them all like, oh, there's one here in this place. You can find one here, this place. Like they give you so many. It's one of those things. Like I feel like if the world was more open, it would be like, okay, it would make sense why there's so many of these key items that you need. I guess you can use them to trade as well, because there are
With
so many.
with what you've played so far, do you think you would ever go back and replay the game?
Yeah, I would go back and like replay, and like I said, like just do like a crazy run where I just maybe spec more towards melee or something. Or like just go and make different choices. Like I would be interested to see what happened. Okay, what if I align with the other faction, but just like also take a bunch of people out, and just be like, okay, I know with this one what they're doing. Let's go help out this other faction. I can get through this section quicker. It was funny because like there's this one character. It was like, hey, I need you. These people stole something from me, and I need you to go get it from me. And like you go and infiltrate their place. I kill like everybody there. I get the item, I give it back, and go, oh wow, you got it. Okay, now I need you to meet me over back by that place of those people. And then I'm like, okay, I go back and I meet them there, and then they go, take this with you so they don't attack you. And then I go there and then I meet the person later, and like I'm like, wait, you were part of this group the whole time? Why'd you have me kill everybody then? Like to get this item? Like I couldn't sneak to get this item. Like I had to get caught at some point to get it. Like people got killed, and like, oh, we just want to see how well you'd do on your own. I'm like, okay, crazy. uh but yeah, like I'm curious like what I like, because especially because it's pretty short. Like you could do another run through and do, but I don't feel like, yeah, it's probably not as totally different, as like, 'cause typically if it's a big game, I'll be like, oh, I'll just look up the other endings. But this game, I feel like now that I know what to do, where to go, where everything is, I'm like, I could probably just beat
You'd
it super
actually
quick.
play it again and go through.
Yeah, like
Okay.
off stream, just like run through. I could probably do that pretty easily. Plus, there's like I think there's gonna be DLC for it as well as some point maybe. I'll probably play a DLC, but yeah, we'll see. I gotta. I wouldn't probably do it immediately, but I could see doing it again or something. Oh yeah, I mean it's so funny because like there's like this thing spreading and there's the animals are getting infected and there's these rats and I'm like, oh, this is so dishonored. These damn rats, man, the glowing eyes. I gotta get them. I'm just like punching these rats so they stop attacking me. But yeah, it's I'm enjoying it. I'm like I said, I'm probably pretty close to the end. If I don't beat it tonight, I'll probably beat it tomorrow. But again, that depends on if I want to look up this or if I want to figure out how to do this other thing, which it sucks. I talked to this one NPC and they're like, oh, I wish this thing was powered on and it was the interchange, which is like the place you're looking for. And I had the option to tell them, oh, I've been there. But then I progressed the conversation in a different path, and now that conversation bit is gone. And I'm like, can I no longer tell this person like, hey, I did turn on the interchange? Like to progress this one bit, do I need them to be in the interchange or something? And it was a day one patch, so I should go back and talk to them and just see if I get that back, and then maybe like because I feel like that's something I don't want to look it up, but I feel like I should look up like, do I need to tell like, is this person who I think they're like might be related to one of the other endings for what you're doing, but I don't know. I gotta I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, it's a good time. And then I did pick up like when I checked out there's like a city builder sale going on Steam and a game called Ixion's on sale. I picked that up. It's essentially Frostpunk in space. I saw it like a couple years ago because I think it came out in 2020 or maybe 2022. I was looking for like a city builder game and I didn't pick it up at the time because I didn't realize it was Frostpunk in space at the moment. I was like, oh, I'll pick this up. I wouldn't mind a Frostpunk in space. But it was funny. I was reading the reviews, and there's like this one review that was like, once I found out that it's not randomized and all these events happen every time, it's like this isn't at all what I wanted. I'm like, that's what Frostpunk is, my guy. Like all the like all the major things that happen in Frostpunk, they're like set, and it's how you handle them up to that point. Plus, the higher difficulties increase the amount of random stuff that happens beforehand.
Wait,
It's like
Frostpunk's not randomized?
no.
I don't think I knew that. I thought that, well, not fully randomized, but like I thought that timelines and events and like when stuff can happen was somewhat random. It's not?
No, the all the caves that you can all the outposts that you can send your people to are all the same. The outcomes are usually flip a coin. Like the group that's at the cave with the
Oh,
bear.
okay, yeah. Okay, so
The
never mind. So the outcomes are I thought you meant like if you play it once, all future playthroughs will play out exactly the same if you make the exact same choices.
well, no, I'm just talking about the key stuff. Like if you find New London, that triggers the fear of people being like, "We got to leave now. You got to stop the New Londoners." That happens every time.
Oh,
The
okay.
storm at the end happens every time. The only thing that's going to be random is how much crap happens in your city. Like, oh, I want my son to have more rations. Okay, do you give them more rations or not? You know, the little things. And then as you increase your difficulty, it's just now the favor you curry, like to keep the Londoners at your base. Like there is in that game, there is like a perfect optimal way to play through all the difficulties, especially if you play like in the hardest one. Like there is like this is the best build order and thing to do is this because like I think it's the if you do emergency shifts, if you do emergency shifts once, you're okay. If you do it a second time, someone is guaranteed to die. So it's like you know that's gonna happen, so you don't do that. But like all the major events, they happen every run. Like it, but the little stuff like, hey, we someone stole rations. What do you want to do with them? You know, exile like those pop up randomly, and then you know how difficult it is to keep people fed and whatnot changes with the difficulty. But all the major events still happen the same. All the locations you can scout are the same. It's not randomized.
Okay.
Which is what Ixion is. Like all the major story beats in the game are gonna happen the same. It's just how do you prep for it? It's like, oh, I didn't know this was coming. Like, you know, that's why it's like, oh, how do I prep for the major storm at the end of Frostpunk? It's like, oh, I didn't get enough coal. Okay, well, let's do something different. Let's invest into the coal mines or go set up a coal outpost or something. Like, yeah, but and that's what they were upset about. I'm like, that's not what this game this is. This is not that game. So I just thought that was funny. But yeah, I played a little bit of that, just like the tutorial, but not too much of it. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Just playing, finish up Atomfall, and we talked last week about like all the thousands of games that are coming out. It's just too much. I'm covered from now till, especially because both Blueprints and Indiana Jones come out in the same month.
Indiana Jones coming out was like I mean, I know we knew it was going to come out, but it was still a surprise like, oh shit, I got to add this to my schedule now.
Yep.
Because I want to play that pretty badly.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Quite a bit on Balatro and Atomfall. And yeah, so thank you for all tuning in. Thank you, Isli. Thank you, Zaya, for joining.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Later.